Hello everybody, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Miss Hannah, and this is Preteen Book Club, geared for ages 9 to 12. Alright, so first, I gotta start with a joke. What do librarians take fishing? What do you think? Bookworms? And why didn't the burglar break into the library? I'll give you a second to think about this one. Why didn't the burglar break into the library? Well, he was afraid of a long sentence. Oh, so good. Well, again, thank you for watching. I'm Miss Hannah, the former children's librarian here at the Seguin Public Library, and today I am your volunteer host of Preteen Book Club. The reason I'm telling silly jokes today is because our theme for Preteen Book Club this month is funny books. Which I am surrounded by here, and how wonderful that there are so many funny books here in the library. So I thought I'd just share a few of them with you, and I hope that you can come into the library to check some of these out. If you're watching live, thank you so much. I'm so glad you're here watching. And if you're watching later, thank you so much. That's great. We love all of our viewers. Either way, please feel free to make comments on this video and ask questions. And I can see here if anybody is watching too, so I can check the comments live if you want to comment live. Let me make sure. Okay, yeah, I see we have some viewers, so that's great. Hello, thank you for watching. And somebody says, Hannah, hi, good to see you. Okay, so we want this to be as interactive as possible. That being said, please don't share any personal information since this is a public viewing, and this is geared toward preteens, again, ages 9 to 12. So you'll hear me talk about these books that are for that age group, not for younger kids necessarily. And then if you'd like other recommendations for other age groups, just call the library or visit our website as well. Oh, I forgot one of my jokes. One of my jokes for our humor book club. Why did the ghost come back to the library every day? Why did the ghost come back to the library every day? Well, she went through her books too quickly. Just went right through them. Oh, and thank you to Miss Erica over here, who's my behind the scenes person. I appreciate it. And thanks for laughing at my silly jokes. Okay. So the books I have range in levels, but they're all great for ages 9 to 12 or grades 4 through 7 approximately. If I start talking about a book that you think is too young for you or too old for you, just wait through it and I'll skip to something a different level next. So just wait and see what the next one is. There's lots of books represented here. So without further ado, I want to talk about Bad Guys by Erin Blabey. This is a series and it's great for the younger group. I think this is book number 9. Book 10 is due out soon, and this is about the traditional bad guys from folktales, like the Big Bad Wolf. So there's Mr. Wolf and his friends, Mr. Snake and Mr. Piranha and Mr. Shark. In the first book, they try to do good deeds to sort of fix their bad reputation, and so that people stop seeing them as just bad guys. And it's really funny. There's character rap sheets. This one is all about the Big Bad Wolf. And so if you like folk tales and fairy tales and you like funny stuff, you will love Bad Guys. It's seriously funny. I gotta make my way. I don't know if you guys can see my huge stack of books that I have to make my way through, so I'm gonna move right along. Let's see, I have to talk about this series, of course. Diary of a Wimpy Kid has made millions of kids readers, has sold millions of books, and this one is the most recent one that came out last year called The Wrecking Ball. So the whole series is about Greg Heffley, who's kind of an awkward middle schooler. This one's good for all ages in that age range of 9 to 12. And in this particular book, his family inherits a bunch of money. So I wonder what you would do if you inherited a bunch of money. I might take a tropical beach vacation. Maybe you would buy something like a Nintendo Switch. If you want, you can comment down below to tell me what you would do if you just came across a bunch of money. But what Greg Heffley's family does is they decide to fix up their house. And maybe that's what you would do too. That'd be pretty cool. So they're making big changes. So that's why you see a giant wrecking ball to take down walls. But they soon find that home improvement is not all it's cracked up to be. There's mold, there's accidents, it's just a mess. And it's very funny. The newest book, called The Deep End, is coming out later in October, so make sure that you call the library to get your spot on the waiting list, because there will be a waiting list, there always is, for the new releases. And that'll be number 15 in the series. And I forgot to mention that if you check out one of the Wimpy Kid books in the next couple days, there will be a suggested activity you can do at home with your family. You can make a time capsule. There's more details on this page, but a time capsule, you can use a coffee can or a jar and a bunch of different items that will help you represent this time that we are living through right now. And that might be pretty cool for 2020. And that comes from one of the things that happens in the third book, The Last Straw, if you remember that they made a time capsule in that book. All right, moving on. Oh, I got to spend a little extra time on Catstronauts because last year the author and illustrator Drew Brockington came to the library and presented Catstronauts to us, and he signed a big poster for us. He signed books for us. So you see this one is signed and there's a cute drawing there. But the premise of Catstronauts is that there are cats who are, of course, astronauts. So there's Major Meowser, there's Waffles, who's always hungry, and maybe by his name you can guess his favorite food. There is the inventor of the group named Blanket, and there's the science officer named Pom Pom. Oh, and Waffles, the always hungry one, he's the pilot of the spaceship. And this is also a series, and it's a graphic novel series. So the pages are in color, and it's kind of like watching a cartoon, but you're using your brain to read, which is very great. The first one, the world is thrust into darkness. The lights go out due to a global energy shortage, but the world's best scientist comes up with an idea to build a solar plant on the moon. And so, of course, they enlist the Catstronauts to go to the moon and build that power plant. And so they go on this adventure. The second one, they actually go, it's called Race to Mars, and they, along with other Catstronauts from around the world, have a space race to see who can get to Mars first. Never been done. So that was this is a really good series, and the newest one is on order. So there's now 6 of these that you can read. A very quick read, nice and easy to read, and really funny. Waffles is my favorite character. He's really funny and likes waffles as well as, of course, tuna fish sandwiches. That is Catstronauts. Okay, whew. Let's see, do we have any comments or questions? Remember, you can ask questions in the comments below, and we will check if we have any other questions later on after the live viewing too. Okay, so then we have the Origami Yoda series by Tom Engelberger. These are another series. The main character is named Tommy, and Tom Engelberger, the author, has said that this is kind of based on him when he was a kid in middle school, because he was really awkward, and Tommy is a little bit awkward. But Tommy and his classmates tell a series of stories about how this finger puppet of Yoda, that's right, the Yoda from Star Wars, gives them wise advice, and it's all while this kid in their class, Dwight, has Yoda on his finger. It's an origami Yoda, just like it looks like cover, and so they're starting to wonder if Dwight, who's kind of another awkward kid, if he knows more about what's going on than he lets on, because his advice is usually spot on. This one also, if you check these books out in the next couple days, you will get the instructions for how to make your own origami Yoda out of a small green piece of paper. And I also want to mention the hilarious titles of the other books in this series, like The Surprise Attack of Jabba the Puppet instead of Jabba the Hutt, and Princess Label Maker to the Rescue. I know the Darth Vader one is called Darth Paper Strikes Back, and so these are great for fans of Star Wars for sure. But you don't really have to know about Star Wars to read these books, which is kind of cool. Okay, let's check for questions. Thank you guys for watching. Okay, let's check out The Last Kids on Earth. That's right here on display. This is another series of 6 books that's by Max Brallier and illustrated by Douglas Holgate. And there's a new Netflix show based on this book series as well. I haven't watched it yet, but I've read the book. It's really, really interesting. It's more of an adventure than just a funny book, but it's also really funny. The characters are funny. So in many ways, the main character, Jack's life is like a lot of other 13-year-old boys. He likes playing video games, of course, with his best friend. He also has to deal with a school bully. Dirk is the bully's name. And he's got a crush on a girl named June. But as you might be able to tell from the cover, if you look closely, he also has to battle with monsters. There are zombie hordes in this book. There are winged wretches and vine thingies. And there's especially this weirdly intelligent monster named just Blarg. But with the help of his best friend and the now reformed school bully, and of course his crush June, Jack plans to slay Blarg and basically save the world. And of course then he'd be average no longer. And this is perfect if you've ever imagined yourself as a star of your own video game or comic book. Again, it's definitely an action-adventure book, but still really funny. So that's why I picked that one out. And again, I think the book 6 is on order, so we should have it at the library really soon. All right, and now I have one from a local Texas author. This one is The Great Green Heist by Varian Johnson. Varian Johnson and his family actually live up in Austin, so super close. And he came in and did some talks in the Seguin Middle Schools a couple years ago about this book. And there is a sequel now, since he came last, called To Catch a Cheat. So this is about Jackson Green, and he likes to play pranks at school, and he gets in trouble. But he decides to stop scheming, and he swears he's given up pranks. But then the school bully, Keith Sinclair, announces he's running for student council president against Jackson's friend, Gabby De La Cruz. Gabby is a little bit mad at Jackson for something that happened before the book even started. I don't want to spoil it. But she wants him to stay out of the election, but Jackson knows that Keith has connections. He's connected to the school principal, which could make him win the presidency, and no matter what the vote count was. So Jackson assembles a team. He gets his friend Hashimi Largerani, tech genius, Victor Cho, bankroll, Megan Feldman, science goddess, and Charlie De La Cruz, Gabby's brother, who is also a school reporter. So together this whole team devised a really awesome plan to do a heist. It'll take down Keith, the school bully, win Gabby's respect, and hopefully win her the election, and make sure the election is done right and fair. That is the Great Green Heist, and if they can pull this off, maybe Jackson and Gabby can be friends again. And then To Catch a Cheat, again, is the sequel. I haven't read this one, so I'm not going to talk about it too much, but it's available for checkout as well. And then, let's see if we have any questions. No questions, huh? Let me make sure. Okay. Again, if you do have questions or comments later on, feel free to put those there. I picked out all series, it looks like. So I do have a couple standalones to talk about. Series are so fun though, because once you read the first one, it makes it easy to know what book to pick out next. But this one is a cool book. This is called, and it has a fun title, a long title, Insignificant Events in the Life of a Cactus. And I picked this book. It's a really good, kind of heartwarming book, but the main character is the thing that makes it funny. She is just really a funny character. Her name is Avon Green, and she loves to tell people that she lost her arms in an alligator wrestling match, or, is there a glare? Or in a wildfire in Tanzania. Is that okay? But the truth is she was born without her arms. But she likes to make up all these wild, tall tales because she gets a kick out of it. She thinks it's funny. And when her parents take a job running Stagecoach Pass, which is a theme park in Arizona, they have to move. And it's a Western themed theme park, so that's why we see cacti on the cover. So they move from Kansas to Arizona, to a whole new state, knowing that she'll have to answer the question about her arms over and over again. Her new life takes an unexpected turn when she bonds with Connor, who's a classmate who also feels isolated because of his own disability. Connor has a disability called Tourette syndrome, which makes him yell things when he doesn't want to, or make noises when he doesn't want to. And so he can feel embarrassed by that sometimes. But they together discover a room at Stagecoach Pass at the theme park, and it holds bigger secrets and a whole mystery bigger than they could have imagined. And it's hard to solve a mystery, help a friend, and face your worst fears, but Avon's about to discover that she is ready to do it all. It's a really, really good book. That's probably my favorite one that I saved for last. All right. So, again, the ones that you can check out with extra activities in them are any books in the Diary of a Wimpy Kid series, any books in the Origami Yoda series, and what was the other one? Oh, of course, Catstronauts. That's one of my favorites. So Catstronauts has I'm glad I repeated this because I didn't say it about Catstronauts. It has How to Draw Catstronauts. And this is Drew Brockington's very own instructions of how he draws the cats. And he actually did this for us live on a big piece of paper, but you can use tiny pieces of paper and you can make your own Catstronauts comic book. All right, so I think that's everything. And this is a good question. My all-time favorite Halloween book. Well, for this age group, there is an author named Mary Downing Hahn. The last name is H-A-H-N, and she writes really spooky books. They're just spooky. The one I remember the most is When Helen Comes. So that's definitely a ghost story, great for the ages 9 to 12 group. If you're looking for something a little funnier, there is Franny K. Stein, which I picked out for this group of books because she's very funny. She is a mad scientist. And she goes to a new school and it feels like she doesn't quite fit in, so she starts doing science experiments, which is all well and good until a monster pops up out of the trash can, out of something that she made. And this first one is called Lunch Walks Among Us. It's she's into all things spooky, so it has a good Halloween vibe. But I could answer that question for all age groups too, really. For little kids, picture book, probably The Little Old Lady Who's Not Afraid of Anything is a great tale. And talk to me in person about older ones. There's lots of good spooky stuff out there. I'm a big fan of spooky books. Great question. Thank you, Ellie. Okay, well, that was all that I have today, and I want to keep it short because I want you guys to figure out a book that you want to come and check out from the library and take your time to do that. Remember that you can come into the library with a mask on and pick out books from the shelves, or you can use the library catalog and put books on hold, and then you can come and pick them up via curbside pickup. Just call us to ask us for more details if you're not sure on how to do that. And it's also listed on our website. So we really hope that you continue to check out books during the pandemic, and we hope that you guys are all doing really well and staying safe. We can't wait to see you soon. Thank you.